really all this business is missing is a decent set of Sandvik fleet that we're working on with Sandvik right now. You would be producing about 4,000 ounces a month run rate before we consider all the other reopenings of the other mines. And your cash cost would be maximum 1,500 all in. To give you an idea, Stein, the last time we sold gold in April 24, we received 10,000 reals an ounce, I think. Today it's 18,000 reals an ounce. The margins and the cost structure has been dramatically reduced. So we think this will be profitable from the very first gold pour. We want to just make this a tremendous success. And that's the way, our philosophy has been, is we buy assets cheaply and we give our shareholders the opportunity for significant returns. Just click on your video where it says more, go down and on pilargold.com. You can leave your email, your name, your phone number, reach out to us. I'm always available. I'll always call you back.
Today we're having a chat with Jeremy Gray, CEO of Pilar Gold. And Jeremy, it almost feels like going full circle with this one. This is really the asset that started it all for you.
It certainly is our very first asset, Stein. We started Pilar Gold 6 years ago. Had our ups and downs, but now we believe it's the perfect time to restart operations after being closed since April of last year.
Can you give us a walkthrough really what is included in this asset? What type of plant are we talking about? Tons per day? How much gold could it produce if it were to be operational right now? That type of thing.
Yeah, Pilar was built by Yamana Gold in 2012 for a time of 250 million US. Has 4 million ounces of resource, 3 underground mines that are currently underwater, but we're pumping out the first one called Pilar. The Tres Barracas open pit, which is 400,000 ounces right next to the mill that's yet to be started, with the potential to get to 80,000 ounces over the next 24 months. I mean, to give you an idea, to build that mine today, that whole complex would be 700 million Canadian, and we're launching this round today at only 70 million Canadian to get it restarted with a 4 million Canadian raise.
Yeah, that's definitely an incredible asset, and I believe you already have 4 million ounces included in your resource across the different categories, measured, indicated, inferred.
Yes, 4 million ounces, that's been drilled out extensively, hundreds of thousands of meters of drilling by the previous owners. We did a fair bit of drilling ourselves, and it's all modeled at, I think, $1,600 gold. So at 3,300, 3,400 gold where we're at today, if you reduce your cutoff, you could go much higher than 4 million. But at the moment, we're happy with 4 million. The mine's only planning to produce 40,000 ounces near term and then 80,000 longer term. So why make bold predictions? Let's stick with what the facts are. But it is a beautiful business. It's one that just had a bit of bad luck. It had 3 years of bad luck, and now I think it's going to have 3 years of good luck at least going forward, particularly in this market. To give you an idea, Stein, the last time we sold gold in April 24, we received 10,000 reals an ounce, I think, or it was $2,100 gold. Today it's 18,000 reals an ounce, or 3,400 gold. The margins and the cost structure has been dramatically reduced. So we think this will be profitable from the very first gold pour.
And perhaps we can quickly touch base on profitability. We'll talk about, there's so many threads to pull here. We need to talk about what went wrong last time, how you're going to restart, all those things. But first, how profitable could this asset be if it were to be operational now?
If you had the required Sandvik fleet, and really all this business is missing is a decent set of Sandvik fleet that we're working on with Sandvik right now, you would be producing about 4,000 ounces a month run rate before we consider all the other reopenings of the other mines, and your cash cost would be maximum 1,500 all in. So what's that? You're making nearly $2,000 an ounce. What's that? You'd be making 8 million a month US. So it's very frustrating. You can imagine the frustration that we've had and all our shareholders have had, that the mine's been shut for nearly, 18 months. And we've missed this beautiful run. But that doesn't matter. You just keep marching on, and nothing's really changed. Well, 2 things have changed. One is we've dramatically restructured the workforce, and we're now hiring again, but we will never get back to the 800 staff and contractors we had before. We might get back to, say, 400 or 500. But the other thing is we went through a JR, judicial reorganisation process, which was a long and lengthy process, where we effectively restructured $60 million of debt down to about $6 million. Now, if you take the Liva shareholding that Pilar owns also in Liva Gold, the shares that we now own, we're effectively net cash. So we've restructured the business. The gold price has gone up $1,200, $1,300 an ounce since we closed, and we're ready to restart. It could not, to be honest, Stein, Pilar could Pilar Gold actually is probably in the best place it's ever been since the mine was first opened back in 2012.
I can imagine that restructuring is definitely key. I would like to take you back a few months to really what went wrong the last time the mine was operational. Of course, I, together with Lars, who helped me run this channel, have been at the mine site. It was operational back then. Can we talk about kind of what went wrong and why we are in the position we are today?
Yeah, two things went wrong. The first one, we were embargoed back in November of 2022 by the Brazilian government to replace 14.6 kilometers of tailings pipeline. So we replaced it, but we lost 3 months of production. Now, I would never wish an embargo upon my worst enemy. I'm one of a handful of 5 or 6 foreign companies that have been embargoed in Brazil, and that's when you're told that you have to replace all of the pipeline or you have to do something, and then you have to wait and sit and hope and pray that they will let you back and restart. Now, our team was amazing back then. We replaced all of it into brand new pipeline. This tailings dam is in immaculate condition. Everything's in immaculate condition. But that cost us $40 million of lost revenues during the closure, the fines, all of that happened. And it was a really life-changing experience, particularly when it's your first gold company. We've now got 4 of them. And I think that experience trained us to start to believe we need to diversify. And in some ways, it might have set us on the journey to buy Liver Gold, Tucano Gold, Gold Road. It was really a life-changing experience, but we survived. But then 2.5 years later, back in February of 23, we had to rebuild an access to the high grade in Pilar, which meant that our production and our ounces dropped off dramatically, and we just ran out of money. It was as simple as that. We ran out of working capital. We couldn't afford to repair the Sandvik fleet. The reliability of the fleet dropped off dramatically. We went from 150 ounces to 30 ounces a day. And when you do that, you just run out of money. And we didn't have an investor, back in April of last year that would step up and write a $3 million check to basically turn it back on, which is all it needed back then. And now it needs just $4 million to restart. In some ways, Stein, it might have been the best thing that could ever have happened to us because we restructured. It was very painful for our suppliers. It was very painful for a lot of people. And, we want to bring those suppliers back and work as partners. But we now have effectively a debt-free business, and we want to just bring employment back to Itapasi. I mean, I feel so strongly about this. I'm very emotional about Pilar. Like, it's been a roller coaster for us, but we know this is going to be $1 billion company easily $1 billion company with that scale, that size, the resource, the restructuring of the balance sheet, the restructuring of the cost structure of the whole cost base. So it's actually a very important thing for us to achieve and to restart next month. We're going to restart next month. Already the guys are testing the mill, they're testing the equipment, they've got the mechanics working on the equipment, but we still need 4 million Canadian to restart operations, and it'll be in slow motion. We won't, whack it out of the park from day one. But I tell you, at $3,400 gold, you'll make seriously good money very quickly and rebuild that way. We're also looking and talking to offtake partners. We're talking to royalty groups, non-equity dilutive types of funding. And we hope to, let's see where that takes us. I mean, in this market, everyone's looking for physical gold. I get probably 10 calls a week from physical gold buyers around the world wanting to buy our gold. But, unless they write a big check, it's no point in us selling that gold to them. So we're looking at all sorts of options that are not equity options. But right now, we are doing a 4 million Canadian equity raise at 20 cents that implies a value of just 70 million Canadian. And like I said, to build Pilar today would be 700 million Canadian at least. These are very expensive pieces of kit to build today. Very expensive.
Thank you for taking us along, Jeremy, on that story of that liquidity crunch. Really insightful to hear about that. I would love to dive into the restart strategy now. You already started outlining some of the things, raising 4 million, trying to have the mine operational again soon. Perhaps you could take us along how a production profile during the ramp-up period could look like.
It's a great question, Stein. And at the moment, 4 million Canadian allows you to ramp up slowly. If someone gave us 20 million, we could ramp up in fast forward. When you're on a plane and you press fast forward 3 or 4 times, it's all down to capital, and we're going to just do it fast forward at 1 rather than 4. Judea and the team are all basically preparing that right now. I asked my general manager, Judea, how much does he need to restart? He said, boss, I need 2.5 US. I said, okay, that's 4 Canadian. We can do that. It's a really strong market. I'm going to go out to our investors and I'm going to say, come on, let's get this going. Let's get this producing. At the end of the day's time, this is the most advanced restart in the industry. It's actually more advanced than even Gold Road, which was, as you know, in Gold Road, we're doing our first gold pour middle of September. This is the most advanced restart. We have 300 ounces already sitting in the CIL tanks from 18 months ago. We have a fleet that's ready to go, a brand new Volvo haulage fleet that's ready to go. We just need staff, a little bit of one or two pieces of Sandvik fleet, and just get that first gold pour of 1,000 ounces. Because remember, 1,000 ounces today is the same as 2,000 ounces 2 years ago. I was looking at some old invoices that when we were doing some shipments 3 years ago, I think a 2,000 ounce shipment would get to 16 million reals. Today, a 2,000 ounce shipment will get us, 36 million reals. That's the leverage, and particularly when the costs are actually going to be lower. The cost structure is lower now than it was before. So we want to rebuild and restart, back to your question, from cash flow. And then if we do get a non-dilutive equity form of funding, like an offtake partner, a royalty, then of course we're going to push this in fast forward 4 times on your plane. This is going to be phenomenal. And the idea is to get to 80,000 ounces. There's no reason we won't get to 80,000 because we have 3 dormant mines that are all ready to mine, except 2 of them are underwater. We have a world-class open pit called Tres Barrancas, and they are our near-term supply for the mill. The mill is 4,500 tons a day. Now, to put it in perspective, Serabi Gold is a much smaller business than us. The mill, I think, is 2,000 tons a day. Their market cap's 300 plus million Canadian, and we're doing this round at only 70. The only difference is they're producing and we're not. But we have much more gold, a much bigger footprint to get to 80,000 than Serabi. But again, I think Serabi is an amazing company. I think that stock will be a 600 million market cap soon. I think gold's going to 5,000 this year. I think every gold share is going to double again in the next 6 months. So this is why this opportunity at 70 million Canadian for a huge business like Pilar is quite exceptional. And I'm very passionate about Pilar. Every time I go down, the guys are looking at me saying, when are you going to start this, boss? When are you going to raise the money? And we've been busy on Liver Gold. We got busy, and now that's ticking the box with John Williamson. We got busy with Tucano Gold, and now that's all fully funded with our PE partner in Brazil. That will be announced in the next 2 weeks. They're already ordering equipment, doing everything fast. And also Gold Road, as you know, fully funded, ready to produce in 2 weeks. So I feel we've got 3 of our other companies in great shape, and now we're going back to Pilar, and we're going to turn this into something truly, truly amazing. And I promise all my shareholders, I would say one thing. Usually when you have problems like we had, and if you were public, and if you had debt, you would have basically gone under, you would have gone into bankruptcy, your stock would stop trading. But we somehow kept it all together. We kept it all together. We kept our costs very tight. And by just, I think, a little bit of a miracle, but also the fact that the gold market has run 50% in the last year, we've managed to keep everything in place. We've restructured. And now I feel our management decisions have proven to be the right ones. It wasn't easy. Like the amount of time, Stein, I've been waking up in the middle of the night. I see these companies as my daughters, right? And Pilar to me is my oldest daughter. She's by far the prettiest. She's a bit like a daughter who's had a bit of bad luck with some fellas, and now she's going to marry Prince Charming. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be basically taking Pilar into where it's always deserved to be, a world-class gold operation that could actually be one of the lowest costs in Brazil, if not the world. I get a bit emotional about Pilar. I'm passionate about this company. I'm really passionate.
We can definitely tell, and it's an exciting time to restart this mine. It almost feels like it's the last one left, like you outlined. Life checking the box with John Williamson, Tucano Gold, of course, hopefully soon a catalyst there on the funding side, and Gold Road about to go into production. This seems to be like the last one that's supposed to fly out and start generating some real gold.
100%. And Tucano is fully funded. It's flying. I see what's getting paid every week from our PE partners. They're going to make this Tucano Gold in northern Brazil, turn that into a 150,000 ounce, $2 billion company. I think Tucano is going to be better than G Mining Ventures, which has got a market cap of $4 billion. Why can't Pilar, with 80,000 ounces, get to $1 billion market cap? Now, I know you're not allowed to say that. I know that's very naughty to say that. but we are pricing it in a way which gives our shareholders the upside. We're ready to turn on. If you go on LinkedIn, go onto Jeremy Gray's LinkedIn, you'll see the mill running only this week. Running, testing, getting ready. That mill is in amazing condition. I did actually say to Judea, please can we just start painting it? Use this next 2 months before we really get going to give it a brand new paint, because there's nothing like a new paint job on a big mill like that, is there? It's bright yellow. So he's working on that, and we just need the Sandvik fleet. But boy, oh boy, I have never been so excited, and I cannot wait to take you and Lars down to Pilar for our first gold pour in the next 2 to 3 months. And we're going to have one hell of a party in Itapasi that night, I tell you. I'm going to book at every restaurant and every nightclub. It's going to be fantastic.
Very excited for that future ahead. Touching base on the go public strategy, of course, the company is still private. Perhaps you can outline what really the vision is there.
The vision is to list when we're doing great numbers. No point going out just yet. And we have some housekeeping to do. We have not done any audits for the last couple of years because all the money we had went into keeping this business alive, not going into bankruptcy. Because if you do an audit, it's a couple of $100,000, and do you keep that money for an audit, or do you go and try and pay something that keep you alive? So we've kept everything alive. We've got a lot of housekeeping to do. We've got a lot of filings to do. It's not perfect. Pilar is not perfect on the paperwork, but it's definitely perfect on the asset and the mine and the gold price. So we're going to fix everything. We're going to make this a world-class business, and we're going to make our shareholders significant money. And don't forget, many of our Pilar shareholders came in at 10 cents and 25 cents a share. Now, when we spun out Liver Gold to shareholders for free 2 years ago, our beautiful mine in central Finland, I think that they will get 40 to 50 cents back just on the Liver holding in the next 12 months. So all of our shareholders, I think, we've really looked after, and we're all about looking for ways of adding value for our shareholders. But now at 20 cents, you're buying this stock at 20 cents when a lot of our guys came in at 25 3 years ago. But they also had the spin out from Finland that compensated them for the wait. Yeah, it's going to be a phenomenal success, Stein. I'm really passionate about Pilar. The whole team's ready. We're fired up. And now that we've got our other daughters all lined up with good, nice husbands, good funding, good production, Pilar's going to be a really big success story for the next 6 months.
Excellent, Jeremy. Thank you for that overview. Perhaps we can now talk about how someone watching this video can potentially reach out to potentially participate.
Yeah, sure, Stein. Just click on your video where it says more, go down and click on pilargold.com, and you'll find you can leave your email, your name, your phone number. Max, Ed, and we've just hired a new member of the team, Eric. We're available 24/7. And would love to hear your story. We have well over 1,000 investors now in our 4 companies. We have over 400 investors in Pilar, and I think we can grow it by at least another 50. But just reach out to us. I'm always available. I will always call you back, and so will Max, Ed, and Eric. We're here to help. We want to just make this a tremendous success. And that's the way, our philosophy has been, is we buy assets cheaply and we give our shareholders the opportunity for significant returns. Like we bought Tucano Gold for $3.7 million. The cost to build that today would be $1 billion. We bought Gold Road, what did we pay for that, Simon? We paid $1 million up front. The cost to build that would be $100 million. We bought Liver Gold for 30 million Canadian. The cost to build to that would be 500 million euros. And we're offering you this at 70 million, and the cost would be 700 million. So we're all about giving our shareholders significant returns. And of course, it doesn't happen overnight. There are delays, like Pilar got delayed. There were problems. We made our fair share of mistakes, but we survived, and we just caught ourselves what's going to be the most amazing bull market in gold, and we've come back. We've come back. That's the beauty of this story. We've come back, and we're going to show just how good Pilar finally is in such a huge, strong market.